You all done or you going again? Dude, licking the honey try like a little bear.
Get out of here, you animal. You're a monster. You're an idiot.
Yo,
Smells like clams.
Right?
I hope a clam bites your wiener. Get fucked.
Analyzer first.
I'm not doing production. I'm just waiting on Dottie Marty here to get rolling. What,
Talking right now?
No.
Watching the.
He's doing something on stream. It's rolling commercials. Water cup.
You missed the first pick of the game.
What did you still talk about?
First, we get Life Stealer, second pick. Hard. By that Mage Bane. Twispian.
Nobody you know. Hey, you want to bring that tea in here and top me off there? Yeah, that's why I had it in here, asshole. God damn.
Here you go, man.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Death Prophet.
Dire team back.
I should have seen that one coming.
Radiant team back.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 7 playoffs. It is EverNova versus Dragneel, game number 3 of this best of 3 series. Now, luckily enough, this is the upper bracket, so whoever goes down to this particular game will go down to the lower bracket, although that is a best of 1 that they'll be playing up in. Still, this is a very important game number 3 to determine who moves on and faces up against the next squad in the semifinals of the upper bracket. Dragneel versus EverNova, and we're into the draft already here on twitch.tv/moondocktv. My name is Mont. Joining me today, as always, is Latridec just on stats. We also have Zyori joining us. It's game number 3, man. If you had to choose a team to move on here, who would you choose after the first 2 games that we witnessed?
That is a tough call there, Maud. Game 1, it really looked like Dragneel was just the superior team. Felt like their drafts were relatively even in kind of game plan and team fight prowess, and they just kind of won through superior positioning and mid to late game decision making. Game 2 felt like they fell behind early, and they were just never really able to recover with the awesome team fight that they had across their draft. So I think Dragneel is still the slightly better team. I think they've looked a little bit better. I think last game it was hard for them to really look good because they were playing from behind basically out of the gate.
I think that's true. And I think they need to see within their wheelhouse when it comes to the draft. They tried something. It wasn't even really something new because they played those heroes before. They had played something like that lineup before, I would imagine. It just didn't work out for them, obviously. They do have heroes that fit them better, I think. And the Lifestealer, obviously, which I talked about with Ritsu, a line being picked up, the Earth Spirit KYH, which he's very good with, which I think we saw in our first game, which was very strong. So obviously, it's a good start for Dragon Slayers. But EverNova, they've picked up a strong starting duo with the Phoenix, which they value very highly currently, and the Death Prophet, which seemed to work out pretty well for them in game number 2. So it's tough to say who comes out on top of this draft. Again, we thought previously that Dragon Slayers had came out on top in the second game draft, but that was, well, completely inaccurate as they lost pretty heavily, pretty hard.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we saw Dragneel ban out Lifestealer in that first phase in game number 1. I scratched my head at it a little bit, and it's a hero that they obviously value quite a bit. They'll pick it up nice and early, and they pair it with the Lion. So a good support just all around, big burst damage, great disable, good to have against the Phoenix. Also the Death Prophet, if you can blow them up before they can get their ults off, or in Death Prophet's case, shortly after she ults. You know, you're in good shape. Also, a blink initiator that Lifestealer can jump inside of. They may grab somebody else who is a little more suited, like was going to suggest a Puck, but another good ban from EverNova. There is some nice synergy there for Dragon Slayers, but they definitely need a little more team fight control. I think they've got the damage now, and, well, talking about more damage, they've definitely got the damage now. Here's what they'll do with this final pick.
Yeah, this is a good pick for Dragon Slayers. Queen of Pain coming out for them. They've got what we talked about, the lack of, I guess you could say, disable with Queen of Pain is just not as good as the puck. You can't go for that Veil first item choice usually, but for Dragon Slayers, they already have that covered with the Earth Spirit. The line has good disable, so they can set things up pretty easily, and it's now a Life Stealer bomb, Infest bomb, and they've got that, and they have the capability of that power with Queen of Pain to jump in, scream, infest out. There's a lot of damage. It's a good range spear to take down the Phoenix Egg as well. It's very strong in terms of its right click. And one of the heroes I think that could do well against the Death Prophet, although avoiding Crypt Swarms is going to be difficult. Still, I think this is a solid choice for Dragon Slayers.
Yeah, definitely. I think EverNova as well could use a little more disable, just try to protect the egg from Phoenix. Silence from Death Prophet doesn't really do too much. Yeah, Swap from Venge can come in handy, but they had a nice AoE stunner to pair with the Supernova. They could really have some scary team fight here. I wonder what they're considering. They still have a ton of options in terms of safe lane carry. Jug's out of the pool, no Slardar or Alk, but aside from that, I still think Sven could be a good choice. We haven't seen much Sven love. I doubt he'll be picked up given that neither of these teams prioritize him, but I think he could work.
I think against a Life Stealer, I think Sven for EverNova would not be...
That's true. I mean, what pairs against the Life Stealer, though?
Razor is a very solid choice, but you often put that mid, and they have a Death Prophet already, so I think DP is pretty good too against Life Stealer.
Ursa, I guess, is not bad. I mean, for safe laner though, like who do you put in the safe
that's
lane?
the problem. I mean, Razor would fit that bill, but he's not a safe laner.
Medusa, maybe.
Maybe I could see that being pretty good.
That does pair nicely with the egg. You have to look away from the Phoenix, can't auto attack. Actually, now that I say it, I really like the Medusa pick.
I don't think they'll go for it. They pick up a Magnus, so I think they clearly want. This is interesting too because you already have a Death Prophet and you also have a Phoenix. The Phoenix will more likely than not be a support, and the Magnus will get put in the offlane or something. But I think they want a melee core now because they have the Mag. Because there's nobody that really and power works on nobody here. I mean, it doesn't really help them in terms of the cleave damage anyway. But
yeah,
I would be shocked for them not to go for a melee core with the Mag already picked up now. So PA is very common, I think, with Magnus. You talked about Ursa, although it's not the best with Mag. I think there's other options. Still, I don't know, man. I have no idea what they're going to pick last year for EverNova.
Yeah, I do agree with you, though. I think it's definitely a melee carry. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. Sven isn't that great against Lifestealer. The armor doesn't really matter against Feast, and they do have a lot of burst damage, but that stun is just so good. Now that they have the Magnus ult, though, I mean, they could get away with somebody mobile, like a Slark, for example, and try and just initiate on the Quap, pick on these supports a little bit, get to the back line. That could work.
I would not be opposed to a Slark.
The mobility route.
I think PA has its moments in pro Dota, and Dota in general, it's considered a okay hero currently. It's not disastrously bad. It's not amazingly good. Pairs well with Magnus. Slark pairs pretty well. AM would have been a good choice, but it's been taken out of the pool. Just trying to wrap my head around other melee heroes.
Spectre if they just want to have that
right.
Guaranteed hard carry, but
okay, that's not anything that we were thinking of. I'm sure.
I would never guess a Bloodseeker. So.
I guess. Wow. I mean, Rupture
Silence is great.
Yeah, Silence, Rupture, both pretty good abilities.
Rupture does go through Rage, yeah, and it lasts. I mean, the changes to Rupture do favor Bloodseeker in this matchup.
Oh, God.
It lasts longer now.
I just haven't seen enough Bloodseekers since a couple patches ago to make a decision about this. And now there's a Furion that can sprout him. And, well, obviously he'll have a Quelling Blade, but, I don't know how I feel about this. My mind's like, this is awesome, and then my body's just kind of like, this is terrible, or vice versa, I guess, because...
And Silence is great to have against Quap, but Quap is one of the few heroes that can actually keep herself pretty safe from Rupture. I'm almost positive that her Blink is long enough range that she can, if it's a max range Blink, use it and not take damage from Rupture because the gap is too short to register.
It used to. I think it still works the same way that you're talking about. You have to walk a little bit, I believe, before you blink, and then it works.
Yeah, you might be right.
I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I'm not sure if they fixed that or if it's still the same way. Mason will obviously have the understanding if he ever gets ruptured. I don't know if he'll be the rupture target. I think it'll be any other hero besides Mason. Actually, I am no idea. I don't want to start talking out my ass about things that I don't know, because currently I know nothing about Bloodseeker in this patch.
Well, I know it's definitely good against Lifestealer. That's the main reason they're picking
Right,
it.
I would agree with you. I'm just, again, good TP mid from Schwann to stop this ward being placed on my K, which actually both of them had an idea. They wanted to get that ward down as quickly as possible. KOH is like, all right, I'll go elsewhere. Meanwhile, Schwann is like, let me just wait a second, and I'll put it down mid, and they'll never know a thing.
Yeah. Keep thinking about Medusa in the back of my head of, like, was Medusa actually the pick here? One nice thing about Bloodseeker with Phoenix is you put the egg down, and then you cast a Blood Right on top of that, and everyone has to make that decision. Do we roll the dice and maybe get silenced and supernovaed, in which case we are fucked? Or, you know, do you just run away straight away and just outrange all of it? It's sort of an odd synergy of spells where if they hit, they do a lot of damage, but you sort of have a double incentive to just run the hell away anytime they do that combo and just reset the fight. You know, they don't really have much to stop Dragneel from just saying, okay, see you later, we're going to walk out.
It's the biggest problem, and that's kind of what it came down to last game, too, except for the fact that Dragneel couldn't walk out or they didn't walk out fast enough whenever they committed to a fight, I feel like, or vice versa. This is just a strange game. I think a lot of it having to do with Dragneel has a very normal lineup. They have very good heroes. EverNova has a lot of team fight. They also have a good amount of push, too, with the Death Prophet, but it just seems strange. I don't know. It's hard to look at the Bloodseeker and just say, this is great, but
it's atypical. So Slicks will play the Death Prophet this go around. We did see Slicks and Mason in this matchup, but opposite, right?
Not sure.
We saw a Slicks Quap. Oh, hold that thought, though, is already KYH diving on in, but the win race here, Mott, and he'll be repelled pretty darn quick. Shoan just hiding in the tree line there.
Yeah, like he did that as soon as the Shadow Strike had gone and KYH is rolling bouldering in. It's like he knew. He's like, okay, well, KYH is going to come in. They're going to look for an early aggression. We'll pick up the Phoenix Sunray early so that he stays alive. And that's pretty great. I mean, sure, there'll be a little bit of an advantage going for Mason now with the group wave in his favor, but that's about it. KYH is going to move, position himself, and find another angle to initiate from, probably. And maybe look for Schwann this time, be his favorite target.
All right. Off lane Snake King had an okay time here, 1-3 on the Nature's Prophet. Not really too much the Bloodseeker can do in these early levels besides just farm against him, so should be pretty good for Snake King, at least for the first few minutes here. This mid lane is getting a lot of action, though. KYH trying to rotate in again. This time Derp's going to find his way over. Does have a magic missile available, but no support nearby, so we'll just trade a couple auto attacks and push back the Earth Spirit. Oddly reminiscent of game number 2. So far, KYH's rotations have not done a hell of a lot. Still sitting on just level 1. Early Blightstone and Orb of Venom again.
Yeah, this has been very important to keep KOH shut down. That's why they had so much trouble in the game. They lost in game number 2. In game number 1, he wasn't getting much done either with the Earth Spirit, but he did come back in with a couple of good team fights for his team later on down the road. So even if he doesn't have the best start, they still have things to fall back on, and he can get levels elsewhere. He's got a Rolling Boulder and miss. Let me go. He has an Orb of Venom, but he's not going to be able to hit him, and Snakey does not have Sprout. And even if he did, I think there's a way for him to cut through the tree with Falling Blade. So again, it's just a swing and a miss coming out for KYH again, just to try to find that kill. He can't get it done.
Yep. Looking up at the top lane here, my God, Ritsu is off to the races, Mod. He is the leading farmer by a huge margin, 16-3. The next highest last hitter is Queen of Pain at only 8. The safe lane Bloodseeker is actually getting shut down by Snake King pretty hard here.
Ritsu gets skewered back into tower range. He'll take a couple of towers. The illusion is blocking his way. I don't think Ritsu dies, but he's going to be forced to use regen. Wow. That was actually pretty impressive.
Pretty good, yeah. Snake King is actually not getting a lot of technical denies here, but he's doing a really good job just harassing this Bloodseeker and stopping him from free farming. He's still missing a lot of last hits here, more than he should be, I would say.
This is Snake King's like #1 go-to hero, with maybe the exception of the Beastmaster we saw in game number 1. It's just like you give him one of these heroes, then it's already bad. On top of that, the Lifestealer is known for being able to farm freely without any issues. We've seen Resolution do it for DC all the time. A lot of teams just like leave him alone and let him get farm, and all of a sudden the game just they win it because they have so much farm with their Lifestealer. It's kind of what's happening for Ritsu. They'll have to look for a gank later on down the road, but Magic Missile, the sounds is going to come out of the Snaky. He'll try to TP instead, not using his W button. He's actually going to make it out. That was close. Ooh. The Thirst coming through, and obviously the Blood Rage damage helping out, but not getting the kill. It's a good effort from EverNova, but they won't be able to secure first blood.
Way too close for comfort. Now mid, rolling boulder in, dagger from the Quap. Slick's taking some good damage, but the Sunray's there. KYH might get turned on. Phoenix actually going to draw the first blood. They do go 1 for 1 though. Queen of Pain finishes off the Death Prophet. Maybe they can get one more here. Juan tries to TP out, but it won't happen. Queen of Pain definitely the breadwinner there, getting a double kill, but the first blood does get picked up by the Phoenix as they shut down KYH.
Yeah, but that's still, I mean, the biggest problem with that is that KYH didn't get any experience or gold from that. That sucks. But he set that up. They had the TP rotation again from Snaky. That's the biggest factor. I feel like if Dragneel win this game, it's going to be because they have a niche prophet who rotated early, who got involved in kills, who shut down the Bloodseeker, although the Bloodseeker is now to 18 last hits. But still, good gank coming out for Dragneel to get Mason a double kill.
Yep. I wonder what build this Bloodseeker goes for here, Mott.
God, I have no idea.
Mid, Death Prophet? Okay, just taking some burst damage.
That's like the one question I can't answer. I just don't know. Like, I mean, SNY treads SNY phase? What do you buy? Armlet? I hope not Armlet, but God, what do you buy?
I don't think Armlet, but yeah, I mean, Midas, SNY, BKB kind of a style could definitely work. I think if you're balling out of control, something like a Radiance, it could be crazy, but no reason to go for it if you're, you know, not already kind of taking over the game. He's not off to a super slow start, but not off to an amazing start either. So I'm not sure what that means in terms of investing in farming tools, or do something cheesy like pick up a Force Staff for more guaranteed damage on your Rupture.
I think you stack Ancients for him and then you flee. Mid lane, Sunray doing a lot of damage, was canceled by that great Boulder Smash, but here we go. Skewer and Ho, okay, is going to get involved. Slicks with the Crypt Swarm, finds them 2 quick kills. It's not a double, but it's as close to a double for Slicks as it could be, as Magnus will pick up the secondary kill. They'll get Mason, they'll get KYH again. TPZ, they really want this pickup in Slicks. Sunray will not heal him. Unfortunately, he's too speedy, and Schwan might be in trouble. The trance will bring him down. Snaky's going to find a double. If he had Sprout, he could get a triple. He does have it, but he's out of range. He'll phase forward. KYH already respawning. Shockwave will actually miss onto him and do no damage. Snaking is, again, he's the one winning a lot of these engagements, but still, KYH loses so much out of every death that's gotten. He's died twice. Sure, he's been involved in 2 kills with the assist, but he's not getting much experience.
I mean, Snaking, ladies and gentlemen, those rotations like you talked about, nice setup, and actually turns the odds there quite a bit. Gets a lot of farm for himself, helps recover for the team, and all this time, that's space created for the Lifestealer. It's really great for the Magnus to be able to rotate, pick up a kill there, get him his Arcane Boots, and now start the quest for the Blink Dagger. He's actually doing pretty well in terms of farm, but this Lifestealer is still #1, unmatched. Ritsu, almost level 7. He's going to go right into Armlet here, and this rate, he is gearing up to be a pretty scary Lifestealer in this mid-game.
And he doesn't have to rush the Desolator like some Lifestealers do. He could go straight into the SNY if he wants to. Roaming gank, Hex not there for We Lost GG. Needs Tranquils for that move speed to be able to initiate. Still, Snaky did TP in, and this might have been his first mistake of the game. Sunray, he is done. There's no way they can get that defense off. They can save Snaky's life. He's too far in, too deep in. He's just going to get brought down by the Phoenix Sunray.
Yep, that's a little bit unfortunate for him. A bit overzealous, so we're going to see another fight break out here. Ho okay, bumps into We Lost GG. Still only level 4, though, so not going to be able to do a hell of a lot here. No reverse polarity, of course. Bloodseeker goes for Ring of Aquila. Nothing too crazy yet, just standard carry items so far.
I like talking about the build-up. All right, he's got this item. He's gonna have phase soon. It's like I'm just like waiting for that first big purchase, that first big pickup, and I'm like, oh, I feel like it's gonna be an SNY. We're gonna be left really disappointed.
Yeah, you're probably right. Honestly, it's really good on Bloodseeker. Like most carries, just gives you that little bit of everything that you need.
He's gonna. I imagine he'll go for phase next or something. And I'm just surprised they're not stacking up the Ancient. I mean, you have a mag for a reason. I feel like he's got his level 1 in power, so you can start stacking this up if you'd like. And they are doing really poorly in terms of net worth. The top three of the top 4, excuse me, are in Dragneel's favor, and of course the top being Ritsu, like we talked about. Now there's a smoke up. Dragneel want to increase their lead by finding a couple of kills, and they might do so. As going down towards that bottom rune, Schwan probably going to get hexed up. Oh, they can't get it off in time into the gank. No, hold that thought as they jump into Screw Pain. pretty much kills Schwan instantly.
Whoa.
We lost GG's gonna have to use Zero Spike. The Spirit Siphon go into town. Great Sonic Wave on it too, and Let Me Go in trouble. He's low. They will bring down Mason 2 for 2. The Blood Rage going to work. The Spirit Siphon, the Crypt Storm has done a lot of damage for Slicks. He'll find himself a double kill. That turn's actually in their favor after a pretty bold fight coming out from Dragneel, but it's just everybody rotating down bottom from EverNova. They lost that Phoenix early on, but that's it. All 5 heroes were down there at one point in time.
Yeah, another great fight here for EverNova. There are a couple problems for Dragneel. The main one is that there's no ultimate on the Lion yet. I mean, EverNova are also missing some key ultimates. We're going to hold that thought, though, as we see a gank attempt on Snake King. Derp Derp trying to catch him, but they're actually not going to be able to close the gap. The one drawback here is that Ritsu was farming away while all that was happening, and this tier 1 tower up top is getting pretty low. That doesn't make up for that 1k gold deficit that we saw from that kind of failed fight there, 3 for 2 in favor of EverNova. But only that line had finger. He's halfway through 5. We're getting close to that Tome of Knowledge mark. And I think that's the missing damage they'll need to start winning some of these engagements a little more handily.
Yeah, it's a bigger deal than people might think. That level 6 that Finger of Death coming out is.
Yeah.
That could have blown up the Death Prophet. It could have blown up whoever. Yeah. Honestly, the Bloodseeker stayed alive through that entire thing. So one of those 2 heroes would have died. Ritsu probably also could have just been there with his team, but you can't fault him for farming, I guess. They're going to Rolling Boulder in bottom, though. They're going to find a Boulder Smash. It'll hit onto 2. KYH is still in trouble, however. Earthspike going to let me go. They really want to deny this tower, but now there's going to be the Rupture. Good deny from the Lion. There's going to be the Silence that'll hit it. He'll take a lot of damage, but they won't go any further because they'd have to dive to the tier 2 tower in order for them to get that kill. So we lost. GG makes out a nice deny. He doesn't get his level 6, but he should off this creep wave coming in.
Slick's in trouble here in the mid lane. Still doesn't have his ultimate, but takes the dagger. Ritsu trying to find the opening, but out comes the RP, locks him in place. He's got a double damage rune. Slick's falling so quickly. Snake King joining the party, but now Ritsu's stunned. Sunray doing a fair bit of damage. Jumps inside of the creep. Does infest bomb out. Meanwhile, on the other side, Bloodseeker trying to tango here with the Snake King DP duo, and they will just back up. Quick kill on the Death Prophet there. Nice setup from Dragneel. Ritsu knowing his limits. The double damage rune making that one a lot easier for sure.
It's Blade Mail for Bloodseeker. How could we forget the item that was so popular last time he was in the meta? At least
okay.
it is. It's got a broadsword, unless he really wants to buy Battle Fury, which I don't think is going to be the case.
Yeah, no, I like this, though. I mean, I guess he could be going Crystal's first item, but Blade Mail makes a lot of sense. It gives him everything he needs. It's kind of reminiscent of that, like, Nature's Prophet, Blade Fury, or Blade Mail style. Gives you a little bit of extra mana. He doesn't have the biggest mana pool, some extra damage, some extra armor. Great value stats for the cost. Makes sense here, Mott. I believe we forgot about it.
I mean, we haven't seen, to our credit, we haven't seen Bloodseeker in a very long time in the meta. We haven't seen any picks.
Top.
Okay, he's gonna get ganked. Boulder Smash. I think they canceled his TP too, so that's just a waste of TP, and he'll get brought down. Staking is gonna be ruptured, but the immediate counter to the rupture is the TP. And there's no Vengeful Spirit stun or swap there to be able to disable it.
Yep, bench still only level 5, so no swap available here. And same story for the Earth Spirit. We still don't see a Magnetize out on the field. It'll be another big key piece of damage for Dragneel once they pick it up. Unfortunate time for the Magnus to die, just trying to pull that gold towards the Blink Dagger, so he will lose some of that unreliable, slow down the Blink. But all the while in the mid lane, Slicks uses the Exorcism, puts some good damage into the tier 1 tower here. The Glyph has already been used, and Dragneel will start to rotate to mount a defense. Still out of deny range by just a couple of auto attacks here, and Slicks will just back up. No need to force the issue.
It's just a smart play from Slicks. He could have either pressed forward and put themselves in deny range, or he could have backed up. Keep it out. Smart play. Doesn't need to use the Exorcism more than it needs to. Quick pause. We're good. We're back and ready to go. The hotkeys had some issues, and okay, that was the quickest pause that we'll ever have, I think, in American Dota.
Yeah. And hopefully our teams for the best of 1 are willing to be a little patient. We are behind schedule here, Mott. All 3 games, decently long matches, and that delay from the patch here. This is around the time when our best of 1 was scheduled to start. We're still at the beginning of game 3, so. Yes. But what is it? The Perky Pepperonis versus Zucchini?
I think it's
best of 1 elimination.
It's those players. The ex-Boreal players, I believe, is who it is what someone was telling me. Grant was telling me that. I don't know if they played a ton of Han, but.
Nope. Snake King thinking about the teleportation, but cancels it.
Here we go. EverNova are going to TP in. There's a ward here. If they smoke now, this would be a disastrous timing, but think the damage has already been done. Is the Quap will blink away, realizing that everyone is there for EverNova looking to. I think they also saw the smoke on. I think it was who had it? Schwan on the Phoenix. He did. So EverNova, they were looking for a smoke of the Seat gank. Dragneel scouted out pretty nicely with an observer ward. Instead, there will just be a push coming in, and this tower denied, not there. But they do get the infest off. Let Me goes in trouble. He pops the blade. Open Wounds is there. They get the rupture off. Sonic Wave will finish him down. Slayerzzz gets sprouted up. He's got Spirit Siphon, but no Exorcism. They're looking for an Open Wounds. They have it. He's going to pop the armlet. Kind of low in health, but he's going to just go to work and get a double kill for the Queen of Pain. Schwan still in trouble. He's got a Burst Dive. He'll get out. We lost GG. Had both the Hex and the Urge Spike, but he wasn't there in range. He has no Blink Dagger either. He's still quite a ways away from that. And so the fight will go to Dragneel. They'll take a tier 1 tower, which is the last tier 1 for EverNova. And it feels like Dragneel are starting to roll out of control here, Andrew.
Yep, no doubt about it. I like the build that Ritsu's gone for here. A really active early game with the Phase Boots Armlet. He's knocked down the bunch of Tier 1 towers in the top and bottom lanes, and now he just transitions into a farming build. Gets the Hand of Midas again, a hero that really benefits from that attack speed, and now he can just power farm his way to victory. He's already #1 on net worth, and as long as he just keeps this up and finds this happy medium of farming away passively while also joining fights, he'll be in great shape. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Bloodseeker, again, it's just non-stop. Lion's got a finger this time. Just be careful. That blade mail, though, he will be cautious. He'll hold the finger until the very end, but he kills himself with it. Oh, my, needed to be a little more cautious than that, Demon Witch.
He waited so long, too. He's like, blade mail should be done now, right? It's on cooldown, right? Okay, I'm dead. That's
unfortunate, to say the least there, I think.
That was funny. That was really funny.
Right,
Still, it's a kill. They kill the Bloodseeker, not Blade Mail. Well, they do kill the Blade Mail Bloodseeker, but it's more farm for Snakey, who is now finishing up his
Although,
Scepter.
I didn't quite realize that's the way this mechanic worked, but when you get a kill... mid lane, maybe we're going to hold that thought, though, to see an initiation onto Derp. Ritsu with the Infest Bomb destroys him, and it'll be a quick pick on the Vengeful Spirit. But the Bloodseeker actually gets the kill first. The Reflect damage comes out before the Lion Finger connects. So Bloodseeker kill on Lion before he dies, so he does get experience. It's a slightly favorable exchange there.
Yeah, it's something. I mean,
you know, I didn't. That's good though. That's nice.
So he hasn't been taking stacks despite them having. Well, they only put 1 point in power. I think that's a problem for Mag. It's just he's not getting levels. He's got a Blink Dagger now. But yeah, EverNova is still a really good fight. They can contest this Roche. They know that it's happening. There's an Observer Ward that should have scouted them moving over towards the pit. I think they pinged it out. It's too late though. The waves are just too far in for them to contest this. And with the Lifestealer, they have a Blightstone up, I believe. Although the one that has Blightstone is actually KOH, so he's not doing the armor reduction he needs to. Still should be roasted rather easily, but
yeah, Lifestealer now. SNY probably on the way. Yasha coming out next, and this will just be a free roast. I agree with you. I think EverNova could have contested this if they were so inclined, but don't seem to be too concerned with it. And it'll be an Aegis going the way of Ritsu.
So this is just the standard Lifestealer build now. It's either this, which is Phase, Armlet, SNY Desolator, or Tranquil's into Radiance, or like Tranquil's Armlet into Radiance. Usually just Tranquil's Radiance though. So I like the first build a lot more because you generally have a game plan and you have a timing window as to when you're really going to be effective, which is roughly around from here to about the 30 to 40 minute mark, which is when you're really strong. It's a very large window, obviously, but you know, with Tranquil's Radiance, you're good in the early game, but I'll hold that thought. RP on it too, but the immediate Hex out, no skewer back. Okay, as nobody here, they're going to bring him down. There's literally no one there. That was the strangest initiation I may have ever seen.
I don't know. For a moment there, I thought I was missing something, but his team was completely spread out around the map. I mean, not only did he just YOLO in, but now that's an RP on cooldown. They're going to need that to defend high ground. They also used their glyph at the tier 2. It's almost like EverNova didn't even consider Dragneel poking at high ground at this point, but they need to be real careful here. Ritsu has an Aegis, so even though he's low, I think Dragneel were really just trying to chip at that tower, and at the end of the day, they get a free kill, tier 2 tower, and the 3rd damage on a tier 3. Pretty good little run at that bottom lane.
That's pretty funny to watch, because like you look at the mini map during that kill, and you can tell that Hook seems like, dude, no, don't go in. He's like, I'm going in, everybody TP on me, and nobody TPs. No, literally no one TPs on top of him. And you're just like, oh, I guess I'm dead now. That's
There's only so many reactions that I can hear in the voice comm in my head after that. I can hear him saying like, "Wait, you guys don't have any upgraded BOTs? The hell, guys!" I mean, that would be a scenario where maybe I think that play could work. I like this from Snake Cake, dude. He's just going for the obnoxious Aghanim Scepter build. He's gonna spawn all these treants. Oh god, it's so annoying.
Yeah, there's pretty good creep clear though for EverNova. It's not the worst thing in the world. They deal with their treants effectively. It's just they have to, you know, they want to be 5-manning as a team, but they have to send bodies to other lanes to push things out. Yeah, they can't really 5-man anymore at this point. So their best bet is to push out the waves and smoke out. But that's such an obvious play for Dragneel to, I think, see.
Yeah, I think the Ags is just a great item for that dynamic you just explained. Like for Snake King, it's so easy now to constantly push out all the lanes, and even though EverNova can deal with it, that's just one more thing they have to deal with. That's one more mechanic in the back of their mind that their lanes are constantly shoving in. They need to defend these outer towers. They did just drop a good scan to scout out this smoke, but unfortunately it's not going to be good enough. The Bloodseeker still is like, well, they're here, but I think I can farm. Oh wait, no, it's going to be a backfire. Big RP in the magnet set up for Quick Swarm, but is it actually going to matter? It's still just a 2-for-0. Now the Sunray starting to come through. He gets the kill on the Earth Spirit. Ho-OK losing the right click ward to Ritsu. It's a 1-for-3. Only the Earth Spirit going down for Dragneel. And now the retreat commences. Still about half duration on the Death Prophet's ult. And they're just going to turn tail and run. They got the kill on the tower. They got the heroes, and they're just going to rotate mid and look at this tier 2.
He missed the skewer onto Mason, and Ritsu was like full HP anyway, so it didn't matter. If he had got the skewer onto Mason, maybe they get the extra kill there, but that's just... that's such a good RP, too. It was a good skewer. They just couldn't... Yeah. It was right under the Supernova, so it was doing plenty of damage. The Phoenix comes back alive, he dies. That sucks, because all of the abilities are down. If Dragneel want to continue to push, they still have the Aegis for Ritsu, and everyone's respawned again. He just needs to get back up to full HP, and they're good to go. This is completely fine. They do not, however, get a tier 3 tower out of that. They do put a little pressure onto that top tier 3, which is fine. But that's just such an awful... The fact that you get all those abilities off and you can only get that freaking Earth Spirit, that sucks for EverNova.
Yeah, super demoralizing fight there for EverNova for sure. I mean, at this point, Dragneel are just playing it safe. They're not rushing up the high ground because they know they don't need to. Ritsu is really far ahead at this point. 12k net worth compared to the 8k of that Bloodseeker there. His Aegis is going to expire soon. He's got the full S and Y and another 2,200 gold sitting in the bank. So at this point, it feels like they don't really have the tools to deal with the Lifestealer. Even the Death Prophet, who can use to reset, once the Lifestealer gets on her and kind of goes blow for blow, he can take her down pretty darn fast here, Mott.
It's like Bloodseeker went for the I have no damage build except for Blood Rage. It's level 3, so it's 35% damage increase. I guess that's the key. He's like, okay, I'll be super tanky with Death.
I think he's going to
Vanguard and Blade Mail. I mean, he probably will be later on down the road, but I think he wants to be tanky now so that he can actually stay alive in these fights, but he just doesn't do any damage.
I mean, I dig on it. I think that he is one hero that... It go both ways. The Abyssal Change you could see as a nerf, and it could also be a buff because he is squishy early on, so now you could get a Vanguard, dive towers. It does open up some possibilities for him. This game, actually, I don't know that it really matters.
If they were ahead, this would be a great build because I'd be like, okay, he's got Blood Rage, he's got Power, and he's got plenty of tankiness. That's how I would feel about it, but they're behind, and Ritsu is very difficult to kill, not once but twice, although his Aegis is gone. He's going to be building Assault Cuirass instead of the normal Desolator, which I think is a better choice. He just doesn't have the damage needed.
100%. I think you're spot on. Like the problem for EverNova was surviving. Now it's going to be killing. Like they're simply just not going to have the damage to kill these beefy heroes, especially that Lifestealer who's, oh by the way, now picked up a Hyperstone. Also walking around inside of one of those big old golems. Well, he's going to sacrifice that. But farm continues here, Mott. What else can I say?
I mean, it really is this your best bet? EverNova's abilities are all back up, but they're getting choked out now. The classic, this line being drawn on the map by Dragneel saying, we do not let them pass this line. If they smoke up, fine. But other than that, they shouldn't be up here, which is where the Magnus is. They should be all down here within, like, the first 2 camps of the jungle, not farming anywhere else. And it's going to starve them out. They're going to get less and less gold. They're already really not even close to being at the same level in terms of net worth. It's a 50,000 net worth advantage coming up for Dragneel. So all that Dragneel will have to do at this point is exactly what you talked about. Keep the lanes pushed out with the Nature's Prophet. He's going to have a refresher, by the way, which is ridiculous. Wait for Roche, and then go for another push probably, or a kill or something.
Yep, seems like that's what they're doing. Still another minute till we see the full-timer on Roche here. But looking at the graph, 15k net worth, the favor for Dragneel. There is pressure on EverNova. They could try to wait and then just force the team fight at the Roche pit where they have kind of a superior ult edge. They can catch a good RP, maybe like a Supernova on the high ground. But they're going to go for it now. They might catch the Earth Spirit, and it looks like Will have an awkward skewer. They'll be able to bring him down, no problem. But I think they were hoping for more than that. You know, they were looking to smoke into a team fight, not just get a pick off on a support. The Magnetize does a nice chunk of damage, but in the end, Dragneel will just farm through it and continue to split up the map and starve him out.
KYH was even ready for that. He was standing on a perch here. He had a stone ready to go. That was a pretty obvious smoke. The lanes are even more pushed now. So there's a ward here that's scouting out exactly where EverNova are. So this is just like, keep away for Dragneel. Okay, you guys sit mid. We'll farm the rest of your lanes and your entire jungle. See you guys at about, 3 minutes when Roche is back up. Cool. Later.
Yeah. Snake King. Look at this build, man. What a rat bastard. He's going Ags Refresher.
Classic hashtag the king build, honestly.
He's just going to Wrath of Nature him down. I like this. If you looked at the recap for that last fight, by fight, I mean the Earth Spirit dying. In that engagement, the Magnetize as well as just the Wrath of Nature each did 1,400 damage.
Oh yeah, it almost killed the mag.
Yeah, for EverNova, I don't think anybody did more than like 800 or 900 individually. So that just speaks to how much AoE damage those two heroes do alone, let alone double ult from Snake King, because he just about has enough gold for the Refresher. Yep, there it is right now. I mean, their damage output is nuts. Lion, Link, level 9, on his way to that level 2 finger, but still falling a little short.
You imagine if KYH had the start that he wanted and actually got kills, he would have a Veil by now. He'd actually just kill everybody with Magnetize. Probably
and a full
alone.
AC on the Lifestealer, so nothing to worry about there. Only 28 armor.
And there's that Refresher. Refresher's done. Roche is up in like 30 seconds. They'll have Treant scouting it out when it respawns. It's a Lincoln Spear for Mason as well. Ah, God, what? It's a miracle, right? It requires a 5-man RP into Supernova, Exorcism combination with, like, the silence from the Bloodseeker on top, the Blood Ray.
Pretty much. I mean, they have enough AoE stuff now that any of those ults in a clutch moment could maybe turn the tides. Like an RP on 3 or 4 heroes, a Supernova on 3 or 4 heroes. Again, the key is keeping this Death Prophet alive. For EverNova to win these fights, they need to be drawn out. They need to find a way to keep people alive through the Lion Finger. The dream is like Phoenix gets fingered and then gets off the Supernova right away. Things like that where they can survive the burst damage and then drag out the fight. If they can manage to do that, I think they have a chance of defending high ground. But if the fight starts with Lion, Quap, and Fest Bomb, somebody goes full to 0 in the blink of an eye, that's where, how do you win? It's a 4v5 straight up, especially if they catch one of those key damage dealers like the Magnus, like the Phoenix.
And here's another win condition for you, or maybe not even win, but like stay alive for longer than 25 minutes. Juana getting an Agate instead of on the Phoenix. With the changes to the Ags to make it more tanky, have more attacks to bring down, the fact that you could get somebody like the Death Prophet in the egg before they change their Exorcism off or something, maybe you have a chance. These are very big hypotheticals. And now they do have to fight into Roche again. By the way, is that a Radiant scan? That shouldn't work. They're literally doing it on Roche. It's not supposed to do that. I mean, I know KYH is out here, but like, also there's a really good scan from Dragneel to know exactly where EverNova are, and they're like, okay, we'll just go up high ground, avoid them, and maybe take a fight on our terms.
Super easy Roche there for Dragneel. They're just going to 5-man down the bottom lane, it looks like. Aegis on the Lifestealer, AC up. Really not a care in the world here. And EverNova, they're in a strikingly bad position right now. They're trying to be aggressive and smoke out of the base, but they are just in the wrong place at the wrong time here. Bloodseeker, the only one lacking a TP, so he does need to be a bit more cautious about his positioning, but they'll all retreat just in the nick of time. He does have a fresh BKB, though, here, Mott. 10 magic immunity for the Bloodseeker.
So does the DP.
Yeah, there you go. This is a big fight. They need to make this hold. Ritsu just goes straight for the high ground. There is a glyph available for the Radiant.
Oh my God.
He'll get ruptured and then jumps right into a creep. All right, that's one way to do it.
It's a Radiant creep too. Is he taking damage in there?
Nope.
No? Okay. It's actually nuts. He just avoids the rupture completely by infesting.
Yeah, that's one ult down. 40 seconds. All right.
He was just ready for that. He could just go back to work now. There's nothing they can do. RP into 2, maybe. Skewer back in. There's the Wave of Terror Exorcism on top. There's the silence up as well. Mason Lincoln Spear will be broken, but the Nature's Wrath comes in and literally obliterates everyone. Slicks is at maybe 20 HP. They get the kill. If that was an Aghanim Scepter, would have saved the Death Prophet. Sadly, it is not. The Supernova gets chunked down by Ritsu. He is just going to work. Sonic Wave is up 4 dead. That has to be it. GG is called. EverNova will tap out with all 5 going down. Dragneel,
My
a heck of a
God.
performance at 27 minutes in, Andrew.
But what a convincing final fight that was. I mean, that was just beautifully orchestrated by Dragneel. And if you look at the damage breakdown, Lifestealer was in the fray. He did about 3,400 damage. The Nature's Prophet did 2,200 damage. That was basically just his ultimates flying through. It was insane to see how fast they died once the Wrath of Nature came out. Really impressive game from Dragneel. Ritsu having a flawless performance, 5-0 and 5, and Snake King with an insane in the